XRP is doing well. I have learned that the XRP ledger has a multiplier effect of nearly 270 times on the 61 million US dollars that were recently added to the network. Additionally, we will play snippets of Trump discussing the reasons why Americans ought to be optimistic about the markets. In the SEC, we also have some items from Paul Atkins. We have received a lot of news on XRP and Ripple. Garlinghouse got me. Charles Hoskinson was my choice. Travalia and much more were given to me. Now let's take a closer look at this. The price of XRP was $2.49. People are sleeping on this multiplier effect, which, in my opinion, makes it much easier for us to go where we need to go. Have you ever wondered how much money it takes to raise the market capitalization of XRP by $16.6 billion? I have the precise number because I keep track of every trade on all significant spot exchanges. Over the past 13 hours, the net market buying pressure has been 61 million US dollars. Therefore, 61 million US dollars increased our market capitalization by 16.6 billion. What kind of multiplier, then, are we discussing here? When we asked about confusion, the market multiplier in this case, which is 61 million or 16.6 billion, is 272 times the actual worth of the asset based on its market capitalization. Given that more than $120 billion have been invested in Bitcoin ETFs, one could ask if XRP will receive even a fifth of that amount. We would receive $93 per token of XRP if we had $20 billion in spot ETFs that invested in XRP with a 272x multiplier. Ladies and gentlemen, getting there won't be difficult. That's $20 billion. Where would we be if we were to add 1 trillion? Whoa. All right, let's continue. Trump is here then. It was late last week that he brought up this subject. He is essentially asking me to have him inform you about himself and his government. Now is the time to acquire stock. This nation will be like a rocket ship, I assure you, that they rise directly. These will be statistics no one has ever seen before. That's a crucial component of everything. The Democrats are just fighting it because they want to, if we understand that. Trump derangement syndrome is what they have. I wouldn't fight if it were someone else. They would be okay if you had a regular person sitting behind you. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, though. Schumer, the senator, is now a Palestinian. Greetings. When they will go and rattle off against Democrats is unknown to me. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's clear that Trump thinks the market is going to explode. It might go either way based on the financial statistics from the previous few months. There could be disastrous repercussions if we don't get an agreement with China quickly, which I know they have been working on. Ports and similar locations are already experiencing a 30 to 40% decrease in the number of container ships arriving. That means that between 35 and 40% fewer goods are entering the nation. The market will grow tremendously if they can negotiate an agreement with China and the boats can resume landing and dropping off products. But this will eventually take a toll. Lowering rates would undoubtedly benefit us greatly. They will print money once more. Although that may lead to inflation, the American economy should set new records in the upcoming years. Recall that the U.S. economy was among the greatest it had been in a long time before to Trump's election. Trump so inherited a strong economy. He has the ability to carry on and truly begin to develop this. After that, he can leave his kids with a legacy of something truly amazing. According to reports, the White House is looking at XRP's broader adoption, and more talks between Ripple representatives and Trump administration officials are scheduled. By 2020, Ripple predicts that the XRP ledger will reach $3 and $5. Ripple predicts $3 to $5. What, $3 to $5 trillion in market capitalization? That would be much better, all right? It's great to see authorities beginning to support the cryptocurrency sector. I am aware that there have always been individuals such as Hester Pierce who have expressed optimism about the cryptocurrency sector but were stifled by the Biden administration. I'm so happy that's over. Over the next 6 to 12 months, some truly amazing things might happen, man. Growth could be massive if we can just resolve the trade issues, figure out the tariff issues, and calm the economy down. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce states that without legal clarity, tokenization cannot realize its full potential. I'll play this now. Without legal clarity, tokenization cannot realize its full potential. Even in cases where state law has specifically permitted or contemplated the use of a crypto network in connection with the maintenance of securities ownership records, issuers and transfer agents remain uncertain as to whether a crypto network can serve as the master security holder file or a component thereof for the purposes of the Exchange Act's transfer agent regulations. Additionally, any security is included in the Commission's Special Purpose Broker-Dealer Statement's definition of crypto asset security. Listen, in order to pass legislation, Congress must cooperate. There is a limit to what regulators may do, but the Trump administration and Congress must enact the regulations. As one might anticipate, XRP is the most frequently used currency on the ledger in terms of payment volume, which is why RippleNet depends on it. Thus, this is the diagram. Between all of these many exchanges and other recipients, XRP is being used. Then, here are a few more resources. Then it states that XRP is by far the most used currency on the ledger in terms of payment volume, as one might anticipate. Is 586 million XRP a day, or 125 billion XRP in 7 months? Looking at the rise, since Ripple's first significant SEC victory, XRP's market capitalization has increased by almost $100 billion. Thus, during the last 8 to 10 months, Ripple has experienced amazing development. Additionally, Brad Garlinghouse appeared on Fox in late April. I'll play this now. I believe that markets like Japan are still opening up. This is a huge market opportunity. Trillions of dollars are moving across international borders. The SWIFT network, if you will, still controls a major portion of it. And architecture is that. The technical architecture in question was created half a century ago. The time for modernization is now. That requires time, especially when the US government is essentially stifling that innovation. However, that is currently changing. If you will, the Trump effect is significant. Asset prices reflect that, but the adoption of these technologies will also reflect that. Yes. And I believe that when you look at Ripple's growth story, does it still originate from abroad? Do you think domestic interest in Ripple will alter in the near future? Indeed, a shift in the domestic interest is already evident. We signed more agreements in the US in the 6 weeks following President Trump's election than we did in the 6 months prior. Thus, these technologies are highly inventive. In terms of how they integrate and rewire the US financial system, I believe they will take 10 or even 20 years to complete. It's across payments. That includes maybe the settlement of securities and real estate deals as well. In my opinion, this will conclude our lengthy storyline, but the United States will eventually be unlocked. And I believe that the magnitude of that transition is being underestimated. And this year, you'll watch that continue to unfold. I firmly believe that people are underestimating the magnitude of this, and many others simply don't care to grasp it or don't understand it at all. They are the ones that will be left behind when all of this actually takes off. According to the latest XRP update, significant resistance levels are getting closer, pushing above 264 and quickly nearing the resistance of 269, which is essentially the all-time high with key level and the 0.236 fib retracement. Therefore, if we can overcome this $2.69, it might be the main obstacle that prevents us from breaking beyond $3. And that might be amazing.